everybody, I'm Josh, and welcome to another episode of Just Sayin. Thank you. It's going to be a great show this week. We are continuing our month-long series of Back to School with the high schoolers. Next week, we'll focus on the college kids, and who knows? Maybe I'll bring in one of the hard Mountain Dews to drink and rate, because, you know, that's what college kids love to do, is drink. I mean, study. Speaking of Mountain Dew, it's time to answer the question I asked at the beginning of every one of my shows. What is Josh drinking? Ooh, I hate you. I hate you. So a little story behind the scenes story to make you understand why I'm laughing hysterically here. Whenever I have people here watching me film today, and whenever we have people that sit and actually watch me film, I tell them, please don't clap. If you laugh, great, but please don't let the microphone pick it up, and we have a barrier around some stuff that will help not pick it up. But we always just say, hey, try to be as quiet as possible. So at the beginning of this episode, or before we started filming today, I said, hey, I want you guys, when I go like this, to say, what is Josh drinking with me? So then I take Taser out, and apparently during that time, producer man told them, don't do it. Just remain quiet. So as I got to the part where I was giving them the cue to join in, which is why if you guys watch this back, you'll see I look over real quick, because all he does is just kind of go like this, and then turns back around, and I go like this, and no one says a word. I hate you. Payback's a bitch, and it's coming sooner than you thought. Jerk. Oh, it's still on camera. Pretending that ever happened, I'm going to take a drink of my Mountain Dew. Refreshing. Anyway, before we get the show started, there's just a couple of things I want to clear up real quick. One of which you have no idea what I'm going to be talking about, because I read the email, and I'm answering the question without you even knowing how I'm going to answer it. Which normally I never do. And normally I don't share emails, I just kind of reply back. But these are kind of big things that I have a water spot on my glasses. I apologize, hold on just a second. I thought I kept seeing something there. And then I just turned my head and saw it was like a whole droplet of water just sitting on my glasses. Anyway, so here's the first one. Now, I'm not criticizing anyone for anything in these emails that I'm going to talk about, but I've gotten a few of these, so I just want to clear this up real quick. I know that in a few episodes I have referred to Mystery Man, the person that I'm kind of seeing, kind of dating. I don't know where we stand, blah, blah, blah. I don't show you his picture, won't tell you his name, won't tell you anything about him. You never hear from him, whatever. He's the one that could be in the audience today. You never know. And then there's Producer Man, whose face you never see, you never hear from. I don't tell you much about him, and I won't let you see his face. People are assuming that now Producer Man and Mystery Man are the same person, and this is a really bad hand gesture for getting this point across. Producer Man and I are not dating. Plain and simple. As much as he begs me, every production meeting that we have, every week, he will sit there and get on his knees and say, please, Josh, just let us... I didn't mean to do that. Please, Josh, just let us be together. I will leave my wife and children just for you. I say, no. I am not a homewrecker. And then he bawls for about 10 minutes, and then we have our production meeting. Every week I have to deal with this. Anyway, we are not dating. Plain and simple. There is a Mystery Man who will remain anonymous for now, because he asked to remain anonymous, and legally I can't do it. Anyway, also I've been getting some emails within the last couple of weeks asking why I haven't been doing the normal sketches I do, and here is why. 2 reasons. 1, because I'm trying to come up with new material. 2, because I support the Screen Actors Guild and the Writer's Strike. I clearly know that this is just a 2-man show, no pun intended. But it is just him and I, and even though I don't have a writing staff, I do use material from other shows that have a writing staff. And so I feel it'd be hypocritical of me to support a writer's strike and Screen Actors Guild strike and then use stuff writers have used or written. So, for those 2 reasons, mainly because I'm trying to get with my new material, that is why you're not seeing those old sketches. I will bring them back, just not now. Anyway, and because I use them a lot, the same ones but over and over again. So, anyway, so that is all that I need to get cleared up for now. Sit back. It's time for the rundown. So I had a very bittersweet week this week. Lots of positives, lots of negatives. I'm going to share with you some of each. The first, we'll start with a negative. The first negative I have for you is that the U.S. women's national soccer team was eliminated in the first round of the elimination round. Wah, wah, wah. Which means 2 things. 1, producer man's still going to put together my birthday show. I'm sorry, my 41st birthday celebration. And then, that also means you're not going to see his picture from that. I think he's becoming more okay with me showing you his picture since he's leaving the show. But the reason I say from that is because we're sitting in our production meeting and he sits there, he begs me to date him, begs me to date him, begs me to date him, bawls, cries, hysterically, woman crying, horrible face crying. And then he calms himself down, rips the bong, and then we start our production meeting. And the first thing he says was, I got a proposition for you. I will leave my wife and children. And I'm like, nope, stop. And then the whole process started over again. And then he gets himself together again, and then he's like, I have another a proposition for you. I'm like, I'm not leaving you. You're not leaving your wife and children. He's like, no. He's like, I'll give you another chance to show the audience my face. But you have to pass a challenge. I said, what do you mean? He goes, here's how it's going to work. And he already has the envelopes ready. But starting next week, I'm going to pick an envelope. There are a total of 5 envelopes. Each, since he started officially became producer man, he has picked up on some little quirks that I do while I'm filming, either in rehearsal or while I'm live filming, that he's going to challenge me not to do. If I can complete the challenge and not do what the challenge is, whatever's in that envelope that week, you will hear this noise just before the socials are posted. If I blow the challenge and do one of the things that I can't and I'm not supposed to do, you'll hear this noise. Now this could be anything from talking with my hands, which I would probably murder someone. I will have to have my hands cuffed behind my back. Well, I couldn't because I have to use the mouse, but have one hand cuffed behind my back while I'm doing the show. I'm not giving you ideas because you said you already had them written. Anyway, and I don't know what they are. He won't tell me what quirks I do. It's just things that he's never been like, I just noticed you do this or anything like that. But I do see him like write stuff down now and then. But we never talk about what he writes down. Maybe it's just a grocery list. Anyway. But yeah. So we'll start that next week. If I complete the challenge week 1, the challenge is over. You see his picture. We're done. And I'm rooting for you. I'm going to try my damnedest because I want to embarrass him. It's my goal. Anyway, we'll see. But I have 5 episodes. His last 5 episodes to show you his picture. Or maybe you'll never see him. Who knows? Anyway, moving on. So that was a good thing and a bad thing. Here's the next good thing. That's right, everybody. I need to put another tick in my bucket. That's right. We have a new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about and just stumbled across this, all I ask is that you click the subscribe button. My goal is to get 100 subscribers, so I'm tempting you guys. And here's how it works. For every new subscriber I get this season and all season long, I will donate $1 to Toys for Tots, up to $50, which would put me at 99 subscribers when I started with 49 at the beginning of the season. If I get 51 or more subscribers and meet my goal of 100 subscribers, I will double it and donate $100 to Toys for Tots. So please, literally, if not for me, let's help the less fortunate have a better Christmas this year. Click that subscribe button and we will have fun. All right, let's do it. Then there's the negative again. I fought. And I fought. And I fought. You guys get the picture. With this computer system all week long. Producer man, who has better technology brain than I do. And word skills. Could not figure out what's going on. My nephew, who is the next Sheldon Cooper. And for just for fun, on the show from now on, I'm going to call him Sheldon. Anyway, so here's the situation. When I got Taser on August 16th, 2019, sometime shortly after that, she did what I recorded, and I was going to make the first Taser Versus video. So, keeping in mind that I've had the same phone since then, and this phone is the last series with the home button. Yeah, it's an iPhone 8. I know, my nephew tells me all the time I'm lame and old. I'm just afraid. I love my home button. I'm just afraid of getting one without a home button, and then I will have no idea what to do with my phone. Regardless. So, I understand that there's been a lot of iOS updates since then. So maybe it's something in the technology upgrade. I don't know. But I can watch the video fine on my phone. I can watch the video fine on my computer after I get it to Google Drive, which when I try to save it in Google Drive, I have tried saving it as an MP4, but the first thing it pops up as is a QuickTime video. I didn't even know QuickTime still existed. Anyway, I digress. Every time I put it in the system and play it, it's choppy. No idea what's going on. So I have a solution, which is I'm either going to re-record it on my phone or record something else for her, of her doing something on my phone, and see if it matches or if it finally goes through. Or if that doesn't work, then I'll re-record it with my production system, and that way I know it will be compatible. The problem is, you guys see how much space I have. And keeping her in frame and her doing the same thing, she's a really smart dog. So she kind of catches up on things that I'm trying to pull on her. That did not come out right. She picks up on things really quickly, and then she kind of remembers, hey, that was easier the last time I did it this way, blah, blah, blah. So, needless to say, I will have a Taser Versus video for you next week. I swear on my mother's grave. And I have decided that I have been pushing these Taser Versus videos for so long and never really posted one, that I have decided that I'm going to use it as a sketch from now on. Once a month, while I'm filming during the season, you will see a Taser Versus video. Okay? Okay. That's the bad and the good. Now it's time for an announcement. No, the show's not leaving, don't worry. Just producer man. Because I won't be with him. He can't stand to be around me. I'm kidding. It's because of his job. So, speaking of jobs, so a while back, I started working just one day a week at the local store here in town, because I'm in there all the time, and I'm helping customers before I started working there. And finally, the manager, after 3 years, said, you know what, Josh, just apply. And I did. So every Saturday I've been working over there while I've been working at the steakhouse. And I have been in the server industry, I think I've mentioned, for about 24 years, since I was 16, and I'm 40 now. And I've been working at the steakhouse for the last 3.5 years. But after 24 years of working in the food industry on and off, I've officially hung up my apron. I left. My last day at the steakhouse was yesterday. I got a promotion and a better opportunity at the store that I work at. It's a block and a half from my house. I'll have the insurance, and it really has nothing to do with anything at the steakhouse. I have made such great friends there. I have had so many wonderful times. They were so amazing with me when my mother passed away last year. And I have nothing but good things to say to the owners, to the staff that I worked with. You guys are amazing. And I know people say this when they leave a job, but that we'll stay in touch, we'll still be friends, we'll still go out together, and then you never do. I really mean that with these people. They really became my family there, especially after my mom died. They really became my family. And to the owners of the steakhouse, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for working with you, working for you for the last 3 years. Thank you for the opportunity that you gave me when I was really in a bad state. And thank you for being so patient, so loving, so caring when my mom passed. I want to thank everybody that worked there for their thoughts, prayers, condolences from that time. And I will always have amazing memories of when I started working there. And I will keep you all to my heart, from Beatrice to Opal to two people that I've never mentioned on the show that are my closest friends there, to even to the girl that I was going to do a spin-off show with, and no longer works there. You guys all have a special place in my heart, and I don't say this for the cliche things, but I do want to continue our friendship outside of the steakhouse. And you guys are just the nicest, most amazing people I've ever worked with. Thank you for an amazing 3 years. And I just want to thank everybody that I've ever served, because I know some of my customers watch this. I thank you for the last 24 years of being in the food service. And I have an apron that's in the back room right now with my name on it. It was a Christmas present from one of the people I worked with at the steakhouse. And whenever I decide, which hopefully it will be for the birthday show, that's kind of my plan, to have the whole set done by then. It will be displayed on the set, along with how I finally decided that I'm going to decorate and set everything up. So it's all coming together, people. But that's kind of why everything was put on a hold, because I was working every Saturday for a while. So anyway, moving right along, before I get too emotional, but thank you guys. I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. It was a great career doing it. And it was something that I know I can always go back to if and whenever I need it. And the steakhouse I worked at, in my resignation letter, I stated that if you guys need me and are short-staffed and need somebody and I'm available, please give me a call. I will be more than happy to fill in whenever you need me to. And it'll be awesome. So, moving right along, it's time to get in the news, and I should say I'm psychic, because I told you he would be back in the news, and shocking, he is. Donald Trump has, as all news outlets are saying, a record-breaking fourth indictment. No, record-breaking was the first indictment. But now Trump has a fourth indictment, and from what I understand, this is the indictment he was dreading, because they have mounds on top of mounds on top of mountains of evidence against him, including a phone call to the former Secretary of State, I think it was, telling him to find over 11,000 votes so that they could send the Electoral College back to Georgia to be recertified. And that way Trump would have won the election. And it's coming back to bite him. And I think it's funny. This is what I think is funny. There are 18, count them, 18 other co-conspirators that have been indicted, big names including Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Sidney Pollack, Kenneth Chesebro, John Eastman. They're indicted for criminal racketeering of an enterprise, otherwise known as fraud, a group of people, conspiracy to fraud. And it's something I don't understand what it means, and I may be getting this wrong, but it's a RICO indictment. Basically what that means, if I understand that correctly, in layman's terms, is that the jury only needs to find him guilty of 2 of the indictments in order to find him guilty for all of them. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. And I don't know if that involves all of his indictments or if it's just the charges for the Georgia election stealing enterprise. However, since the D.C. indictment, and some of the people in the D.C. indictment were involved in the Georgia indictment, however, once they were indicted in D.C., they flipped on Trump, and there are 8 unindicted co-conspirators that were not indicted, obviously, because they're starting to cooperate. Even Mike Pence, his vice president, is now coming out and saying the election was not stolen. As you guys may remember, last week I said he was going to go to court for a order of protection. The judge warned him, do not say anything negative about any of the cases you have against you, any of the judges, any of the jurors, any of the prosecutors. And of course, Trump didn't listen, and he is. Because somehow the D.C. grand jury members have their names and addresses posted online, and I believe it was the D.C. judge who got a voicemail from someone saying, we're going to kill you. This is mob mentality, and this is who everyone wants to be our next president. Not to mention a mob mentality, you invoked a mob on the Capitol. When are the Republicans going to finally open their damn eyes and realize he is destroying the Republican Party? I have stated on this show before, I don't identify as Republican or Democrat, that I have voted on either side of the aisle. However, I'm about ready to ditch the Republican side because it's becoming the party of Trump. It's becoming the party of, we're racist, we're full of hate, we're all of it. You can't do anything to me when I do something wrong because I'm above the law. Everything. And here's the thing that sucks. He's doing all this shit. His names keep getting brought up on news outlets, including this show, and he's getting free publicity. Not to mention, I have purposely, when I was looking for pictures of Trump to put on the show to save in my constant picture, because so far I've only not had him on the show once in 4 shows. But, talking about different indictments each time. But I purposely chose this picture out of a list of pictures because ever since I was a kid, I have always been taught that this means white power. And he does it all the time. When are people going to realize he is the devil? I'm almost to a point where I'm saying, screw it, I'm Democrat. Because I don't want to be in a party where Trump is the leader of it. I mean, look how... I can't go on about it. Because I just want to make sure I got everything covered. Because my blood pressure is just seething right now. Yeah, we're going to move on. Anyway, moving right along, this woman, once I get her picture up here, her name is Kim Jennings. She is or was a... what did I do? Sorry, hold on. Okay. She is or was an apartment manager where the Uri family was visiting friends that lived there. The kids, little Mr. boy Yuri was in the pool with his sister Yuri, because I don't know the kids' names, when this lady, Kim Jennings, came out and was like, okay, everybody out of the pool. And while everyone was out of the pool except for Sister Yuri, she was trying to still get to the side to get out. And Mrs. Jennings allegedly said, quit acting like N-words, but she said the actual word, dumped a soda on the kid, and smacked him a couple times. According to TMZ, she was arrested, and the family is now suing not just Jennings, but the complex and the complex broker for discrimination, assault and battery, and emotional distress. Let me ask you this question. When in the world did this country become so hateful? I can't put my finger on it. There was a point in time where everyone got along, whether you actually got along with them or you were faux getting along with them. But there was a time where people loved each other. And now everybody is just full of hate, and I don't know why. Anyway. Twitter has their next target, and it's America's Beauty, Sandra Bullock. That's right. Supposedly, because the role she played in The Blind Side, I want to say the name is Tui, but I didn't write it down, and if it's not right, I'm sorry. Mrs. Tui, they told their side of the story, which is what the movie was based off of, if I understand the story correctly. The actual African-American that was in the movie, not the actor, but the person that he was portraying, Michael Oher, supposedly went after the family saying, if I don't get a check from you, you guys made yourselves look like the hero, and that I was just a side piece. If I don't get a 6-figure check from you, I will bash your name out, blah, blah, blah. And because of all of this, Twitter is now asking, some Twitterers are saying that she should give the Oscar back for winning the role for playing Mrs. Tui. She was playing a character, had nothing to do with the actual scandal, if that's what the scandal is. Nothing to do with it. Why should she be punished for a role she played? I don't get it. Even the actor who played Michael Oher is saying, don't give the award back. Listen, Sandra, I know you don't watch this show, but maybe I'll add you to the Twitter. Let me just say this, girl. You keep that award. You earned it for what you are good at. Not for the story you played. Not for the lady you played. But for your acting skills. That's what the Oscar is for. It doesn't say most outstanding story actress. No. It's best actress. And that's what you got because you are an amazing actress. Don't let the bullies con you into giving your award back. Again, I ask, when has the country started being so hateful? I just can't figure it out. Anyway. Here's the next story. The Little League World Series. Apparently, I was scrolling through TMZ the other day, and this story popped up, and I was like, why are they telling us this? And then I read the story. So the Little League World Series has announced that they are taking the bunk beds out of the dormitories. And you're all thinking, that's retarded. Why was that a story on TMZ? Well, here's why. Because in 2022, a kid by the name of, and don't tell me your family's not into baseball, Easton, which is a company that makes baseball products, Easton Oliverson, if that's how you pronounce it, was on the top bunk. I don't know if he was sleeping. I don't know if he was goofing around, but he fell off the top bunk onto his head, had a fractured skull and a brain bleed. And so, according to the Little League World Series, quote, for an abundance of safety concerns, end quote, they are removing the bunk beds from the dormitories. Yay them. I do want to mention that the family is suing the Little League World Series for the injury, so maybe he just fell asleep. Maybe he was sleeping and rolled off. I don't know. I don't want to assume what happened. But when I had bunk beds growing up, and I did have bunk beds growing up because I am the only boy, and why shouldn't I get to choose between top bunk and bottom bunk? But it was awesome when I had friends stay the night. I never fell off the top bunk when I was sleeping. But, then again, I will say, most bunk beds, home bunk beds, have sides. Commercial bunk beds don't. Like prison beds don't have sides, or military, when you go into boot camp, they don't have sides on their bunk bed. I mean, maybe it was bunk beds like that. I don't know. So, I'm not going to assume something, because that just makes an ass of you and me. And finally, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't think that Meta and Facebook is enough. No. He has joined the MMA. Apparently he fought another celebrity, won it, loves it, challenged Elon Musk. Elon Musk said hell to the no. Had no, Mark, you can challenge me, but I won't do it. There's my answer already. But now he says he wants to, quote, focus on... Whoa, wrong story. Quote, wants to focus on people who take the sport seriously, end quote. So, good luck, Mr. Zuckerberg. Please don't get your head bashed in. I never saw you as a mixed martial artist, but more power to you? I don't know. And with that being the last story, it is time for the sketch where I let you into my little noggin. For those of you who have never seen this next sketch, here's what it is. I am an amazing philosopher. I have such amazing thoughts. Like, for example, what would chairs look like if our knees bent the other way? Just random thoughts that pop into my head, and I thought I would start sharing them with you because Taser doesn't pass them around. It's time for a sketch that I like to call, What is Josh Thinking? Here we go. With the list of side effects on some medications that I see commercials for, is it really worth taking that medication? If I'm having the sniffles because I have seasonal allergies, and one of the side effects is death, I think I'd stick to having the sniffles. Just say it. Number 2, when is the right time to tell Taser she's adopted? I don't want to do it too soon, but I know she's going to obviously figure out that she's not my biological child at some point. And I don't want her to think I'm hiding it from her. Number 3, why do I care so much about the past when I love presents? And just like Producer Man, none of you got that joke. Presents like gifts instead of the past and the present. Sorry. Here's a real thinker. And I want you guys to comment below what you do. How early is too early to decorate for Christmas? As you guys know, I'm not a big decorator. I'm not that gay. Not that type of gay. I just go with the flow. I do. I am the type of person that I will put up the Christmas tree the week before I film the Christmas episode, if I ever do it again, or just in general on Christmas Eve, and take it down the day of Christmas after I get home from my family. But really, anymore, I don't care about Christmas. But that's not the point. And I say that because it's become too commercialized. It isn't about what it's supposed to be about. Anyway, my family, on the other hand, they decorate the day after Thanksgiving because they love the Christmas holiday. And my dad, the town used to call him Mr. Griswold because he used to go all out with Christmas decorations. We would decorate on Thanksgiving, take them down on Christmas, the day after Christmas. One year he won the town Christmas lighting decoration contest. And he had everything from icicles to deer to a pond with the deer drinking out of it to Santa Claus. I mean, it was just, he did an amazing job. But it just was kind of too much. And maybe that's why I don't care to decorate. It's just because my mom always overdid the inside, my dad always overdid the outside. I don't know. Who knows? And finally, a new study that I read has stated that dogs get anxiety and stressed when you hug them because they are unable to protect you then or themselves. Does my dog hate me? I hug her all the time. Like right now she's laying right there, so if you hear her snoring, that's why. I apologize. But she's laying right there, and sometimes I'll just get on the floor and hug her and then get back up. Does she hate me? Does she resent me because I love her? Yeah, because she's adopted. I do. Anyway. So that is what is Josh think. That is what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking we should move on with the show and show you some hilarious yearbook quotes in this week's edition of What's Wrong Here? That's right, everybody. I thought this would be a fun week to take a look with, speaking of high schoolers, take a look at some hilarious senior high school yearbook quotes, if I can talk. And some of them just had me rolling around in laughter. Just like I do when Producer Man asks me to date him. Anyway, here's the first one. Jason Avina says, "One time I ate a bagel." Congratulations. Here's the next one. Andrew Newman said, quote, "If you like water, then you already like 72% of me." So chances are he was the science nerd. Here's the next one. These two were in on it together. The first one says the next quote is a lie. The next one says the previous quote was telling the truth. So which one is the lie? We're going to the Matrix. Here's the next one. I told you that joke wouldn't work. Should have burned this place down when I had the chance. Here's the next one. Enict Yane said, quote, "I'm not a vegetarian because I love animals. I'm a vegetarian because I hate vegetables." So why do you eat them? Here's the next one. And I like it now that our country is somewhat accepting of others and not, well, you know. Anyway, and I'm only not pulling up his picture again because it's all the way at the top of the little sources page that I have pulled up. Anyway, so, sorry. I have a hatred for him, okay? But at least somebody knows how to have fun with, maybe this is the way they came out of the closet, but this guy said, "Of course I dress well. I didn't spend all that time in the closet for nothing." Yet I know nothing about dressing. Now, however, I will say I'm colorblind, though. That has a lot to do with it. Here's the next one. Dat Tran said, "So I heard the ladies like bad boys. Lucky for them, I'm bad at everything." Same with me, but I am still gay. Here's the next one. Christopher Gaylord wanted everyone to know that, yes, that is my real last name. And finally, in this segment, Zachary Chastain said, "It's hard being a single mother, especially when you have no children and are a teenage male." It's hilarious. I mean, we just talked about quotes. Why not look at some hilarious yearbook pictures? In this week's edition of Funny Family Photos.
Drop it.
Now, this first one, I don't know if he was a senior. Maybe he is. I don't know. But it's a yearbook picture. It's a school picture. We're going to go with it. I just like the fact that the top of his shirt says, "I came." For what? I always go if there's cake. Here's the next one. I think this guy took a really big rip of a bong before he sat down for this picture. And if that's your face, I'm just sorry. But it just, to me, looks like you took a big rip of a bong. Much like I do. Look. Even without a bong. Here's the next one. Apparently this girl liked her hair height. I mean, her hair height is like double the size of her height. Or double the size of her even forehead. Here's the next one. Here's what there's. Okay, so I look at this picture, and I'm more confused about the picture in general being in the yearbook than I am about the picture itself. Why would they post a picture in the yearbook of the back of some bald guy's head and a guy sleeping standing up? Why would that be in the yearbook? Here's the next one I enjoy. Oh, and that's the tame ones, people. Here's the next one. And again, kid, if this is your face, this is just your normal face, I'm sorry. It just looks hilarious. I'm not trying to poke fun at you or the way that you look. That picture is just funny. I chuckle every time I see it, except for right then. But this one is disgusting. Just much like his hairdo, the mullet. It is not coming back in style, people. It's not. And I'm even saying that to my own family members. Don't do it. Here's the next one. I like this picture just because the kid looks just like Chris Farley. And maybe that was the point, but he just looks hilarious. Like Chris Farley when he does the SNL skit about living down by the river. Here's the next one. Again, kid, if this is just your normal face, I'm sorry. But why do you smile like that? Just saying. Just saying. I don't get it. And finally, I have no idea why this picture would be in the yearbook, especially if it's a teacher, because he's creepy and holding a little creepy cat. Or bunny or something. But that's just too creepy to even have in your school, let alone your yearbook! Anyway. Well, everybody, it's time for a new segment. That's right, I have a new segment for you. And here's the background of the segment. So I used to put these segments, sometimes they'd be in What's Wrong Here, sometimes they'd be in Oops, because it's such a broad, those two things are such a broad category that I could throw anything into them. However, I'm starting to I want to try and break them down a little bit more so they're not so broad. So I thought I would show some sign mistakes, because if they have to make signs for you, if they have to make signs, obviously people have done it for a reason. And if it's one like some of the ones in this segment today, it's because a high schooler tried to play a prank on you. It's a new segment that I like to call, I'll Take It As a Sign. So here's the first one, and I'm thinking that it's not trying to keep you out of the mud because it's deep, but I'm thinking it's keeping you out of the mud because of the mud monster! Like what? Why? Why? Here's the next one. Clearly, they're serious about this sign because it looks kind of old, and apparently they don't have a pig farm. It says no trespassing. We're tired of hiding the bodies. Well, you get a pig farm. You throw the body in the pig farm. The pigs eat even the bones. There you go. Until they poop, and people can maybe find out that. But regardless. Here's the next one. Oh, nope, that's the same one, Josh. Sorry. Here's the next one. Please be safe. I'm not sure where their concern is in this next sign. Please be safe. Do not stand, sit, or climb or lean on fences. If you fall, the animals could eat you, and that might make them sick. Thank you. They're not concerned about you falling and getting hurt or eaten by an animal. They're concerned because if the animal eats you, the animal will get sick. Is that really where we want to be? Here's the next one, and again, they would not have to make this sign if it wasn't a problem. Warning, this is not a human litter box. Find another toilet or you will be arrested. I don't know. Here's the next one. Warning, squirrels will attack exposed nuts. It's on a golf course. Took me a minute to figure that out, but yeah. It's on a golf course. I thought it was just a park, but whatever. Now, this next one, I don't understand if the people that made the sign understand exactly what's going on. Because I'm just baffled by the sign to begin with. It's a sign to warn people to beware of falling deer. Because leopards conceal their unfinished food in the tops of trees. Where in the world do leopards and deers live? Deers? Where in the world do leopards and deer live together? Am I just insane and not understanding, comprehending the animal world? And how are leopards getting up in trees, at the top of trees? A leopard, if I'm correct, is like a big tiger. Could you imagine being a leopard and carrying something up a tree while you're climbing the tree to the very top of the tree where the small branches are, and you place a deer there? Something tells me maybe I just don't understand the animal kingdom. Who knows? Here's the next one. These people are serious about you following the speed limit. 25 miles per hour. Do not break this limit. We know where you live. Your house will be burned to the ground. If you pass even 1 mile an hour over the 25 miles an hour, if you travel even 1 mile over the 25 miles an hour, if you value the safety of your family and yourself, you will comply. All I want to say is this might be around Mar-a-Lago. Here's the next one. Danger! And again, I don't know where they keep their concern. Danger! Do not feed or molest crocodiles, because I don't know how many times I have seen a crocodile and just thought, I want that crocodile so bad. And no, I'm not into bestiality. Here's the next one. Unintended children will be given an energy drink and taught to swear. I think that should be a sign everywhere. Everywhere. That is a great thing. And finally, $299 fine for tracking mud and debris on city streets. All I can say is, because I live in one, that better not be a country town, because it's a stupid law then. Where you have tractors and trucks and, yeah. But you can't drag it in. Nope. Well, that will do it for the show this week. I hope you guys have decided to join me and laugh along with me. And again, I want to thank everybody at the steakhouse I used to work at, including the owners. Thank you so much for the amazing last 3 years, as well as anyone I've served over the past 24 years. Thank you so much. I have so many great memories at all the places I've ever worked. Some good, some bad. And maybe I'll share more with you in the future. But what can I say? Be sure to join me next week when we close out back to school month with the college students. And then we start my birthday month! month with all of my favorite things. And we'll start the challenge to see if I get to show you Mr. Producer Man. If you think there's something funny I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. There's a show email address as well as my Twitter account. And for the record, I have deleted. I went to post my Taser Versus video on my TikTok, and I couldn't even find it. I deleted it off my phone. So I don't even have my TikTok anymore. So that's why I haven't been posting that one. Anyway, also, while you have a second, please like, comment below, and subscribe for. I'm sorry, and press the notification to get notified anytime I post one of my episodes, especially that one right there. Ding, 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 ding. That one. Subscribe. I will donate $1 to Toys for Tots, up to $50, or $100, depending on how many subscribers I get. Who knows? Maybe if I need to do a final push in November, I'll do for November, I will, in October, promote the No Shave November thing again. Who knows? We'll see. I've already been discussing it. I'm out of breath. Hold on. I know there's like 2 seconds left of the show, but hold on. So, be sure to join me next week when we honor the college students. And until next week, everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, stop the hate. And until next week, I'm sorry, I just about jumped into my old closing. And until next week, everybody, that's all I'm saying.